Hi, it's Jez here from nijezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to give you a flip through. Now, you may remember this journal that I did. I said I would be making one with the same papers that I don't vintage up. Excuse my inky fingers. And here it is. So I've made it a different size. The other one was more traveller's notebook, whereas this is more sort of standard. So the cover it's about 5 3/4, a little bit under 5 3/4, and it is 8 1/4 tall, and the pages were cut to be 8 inches by 8 inches, but no, that was the other one. I think it was 8 inches by 10, so they were 5.5 inches wide. So yeah, I haven't, oh I did, I was going to say I haven't attached the ribbon, but I have. This is just white seam binding, and in the same way as I did before, I used an eyelet on the back cover. The cover is made with the thick cardstock that you get around packets of designer series paper. So this I made it out of the packet that came in the paper that I used, and then both sides covered with thick DSP, Stampin' Up! DSP. So this is my favourite Stampin' Up! Colour, Blackberry Bliss, and it is from the other freebie in Celebration. So I've used Dainty Flowers, which is free in Celebration, but we have Favoured Flowers as well, and it's the B-side of the floral one. I just liked it. I completely run out of Dainty Flower DSP. It's not very often that I use an entire packet, but I have. Oh, I told a lie, I didn't use the Dainty Flowers one, I must use one other, but that's all I've got left from that entire packet. Made those two journals. So I've just simply done a journal on the front there and layered it up. Didn't think it needed anything else. This is upholstery fabric. I bought one of those. I'm trying to see it near me, and I can't. But you know those upholstery fabric sample books that you can get. So this is from one of those. So it's 100% wool, yeah, and I just thought it was a really good match for Blackberry Bliss. I did back it so it's like this sort of wool felt, and I did put interfacing, iron interfacing on it before I sort of stuck it down. Got a bit of lace. I've woven in some Blackberry Bliss ribbon there, and then I've just put some plain ribbon on the back, and it's got the pinking sheared edge that was on the edge of the fabric. Okay, on the inside I've used, you might recognize that paper. I've made a journal with that. I think this is still available on clearance, actually, this paper. The B-side of all the paper is this sort of wood grain, and I thought it went well with the sort of grain that was in there. I didn't have any more of this to line, so that's what I did, and I used some more of that paper there just to make a nice gusseted pocket there, and just a simple little design. And I stamped with the stamp set that matches this to create the tag to go in the front pocket, just to sort of matchish with that, and then I just put some paper on the back and stamped there. So that is just the panel from that sheet of DSP. I didn't put white on the back, so I didn't think it needed it. and I've just used ordinary paper clips there, silver ones. I've not stained them or anything, made them look old. I've not attached anything. I just went for sort of simple, and I let that paper speak for itself. You might have had a little bit of sneaks of some of these, because I think I've done a video showing this. So that's the dies that go with the stamp set that matches the paper. I'm just now trying to find it, dig it out so I can show you, but of course it's not close to hand. I tidied everything away, and so now I can't find it. I'll dig it out. Okay, so dug them out before I go any further. So this is the stamp set and the die set, both called Dainty Delight as opposed to Dainty Flowers, which is the paper. And so this is the die there that I did that with, and that is what I used to stamp on there. So I have used this throughout. So as I say, in the other page journal, I have tea dyed. I've decal edged the edge of the paper as well. New little toy. You might have seen me make this. This was from a book I bought that's in charity shop that's modern. I really liked that, and I thought make a nice little journaling card, and I thought it picked up that colour well, so I liked it. Just stamped there. That's an old retired Stampin' Up stamp set there, but I felt that finished the page off nicely. And then on this side I stamped, this is from Quiet Meadow, and I thought the colour went well. I used polished pink for that, and I thought it went well, and also with the margins there on this vintage ledger paper. So that is a nice journaling card. I felt you can write on that, so I didn't back it. So this is like the journaling cards that I made for this journal, but in this journal they let's find one. I didn't back them, so that's what they're like when they're coffee dyed. That's more or less the same. There we go. But this has been not coffee, tea dyed. But for this one I felt it needed something around it, which is why I backed them all on to Old Olive, which goes with the colours there. And then I just stamped a fern there. I thought it kind of went. I said just left that as it was. This is one of the pages that I used as an actual page in the other journal, but I've cut them up for this one to make tags, and then just put that they are backed onto white paper, because I thought that was easier, and it gave it a little bit of extra strength. And I used the decal edge on the bottom of that as well. Stick that in there. I used that paper in the other one as well. That's a vintage map book, some exercise paper, and then this is not sure if the video's out of this yet, how I used some digital vintage ephemera, just sort of added to it. I just quite liked the way that looked with it, and I felt that the journal needed something extra, so that's just one of those tags. Again, sometimes I put the I prefer the sentiment down the bottom, but when it went in a pocket I wanted it at the top so it could be seen. I decided to leave the pockets without any other adornment, and so that's another one. And I quite liked this book page here because I felt it went well with the colours. This is some vintage note paper I just stamped there, and I say I felt this sort of lavender went really well. I've used this book in the other one, but it's been tea dyed and then I stamped again there in polished pink to go with that. This is another one of what I made with that modern book. It had vellum, so just left it as freestanding. I used Very Vanilla there because you can see a little bit there of that document, and yeah, I just liked the way that looked, and I've used polished pink there for the ribbon because it picked up that pink there, so I've got video on that. This is faux vintage document, and I've used the decollage trimmer all the way around it, just a simple little bit of stamping there, and that is some faux vintage ephemera made into a tag. It's literally from a kit, Artie Mays, and I didn't do anything other than back it on some avocado dyed paper. This is my scanned image of my avocado dyed paper, and this was also avocado dyed. If you've never dyed paper with avocado, yes, they come out pink. You'd think they'd come out green, but they don't. Another one there, and this is another one of those vellum sheets that came from that modern book. I just liked the way it looked there. Done another stamp there like before. This is another one of those French ephemera tags. I picked that one because of the colour to go with this. This is a shorthand typing sort of manual, vintage. Some white paper again, not tea stained, another one of those. This is a 1966 diary. It's quite old. I can say it's quite old because it was Ed's birthday this week, and he was born in 1966, so it's quite old. Another sheet of that, England is a Garden it's called, and here I made an envelope for the centre. I had a spare one of these that I wasn't going to put anywhere, so I just put it there as a fastening for this envelope, and inside this envelope is the is where the binding is, so it's hidden. And then here's a bit of the vintage French ephemera from that same kit, and I just printed some vintage paper on the back, so it kind of had the same sort of colour on the back. I don't like them being white on the back, even though this is, you know, an ungrungy journal. I still didn't want it completely white, so there we go. That's the other half. Now we're going down to the other side. Another one of those tags. Some more, so to say, typewriting book, and I kept the edge on. Used it in the other one as well. The other side of that. Another tag there. And so all of these is pages from Dainty Flowers. This is another piece of that vellum. I've got a video on making this. I just made a vellum envelope, and I just put some white paper in, just folded it and corner rounded it to put it in here. And what I liked about this was that you've got this sort of brown there, so when it was flopped over like that, you've got these colourful flowers which go well there, and then when you open it up, that brown goes really well with the other side of that faux vintage document. Well, digital vintage faux. And then we've got the other half of that page there, another little bit of stamping on that vintage note paper there. the other side of that. This is, so you would have seen the tag, which was made from this, and this is I just backed it onto, why am I pointing there? Well, actually, I think I printed it double-sided. Yeah, I printed avocado print on the back there. And I just thought it went really well on that page there with this colour here. That's another one of those tags. On that page again. And then that's very similar to the other side. Just a little bit there, because this is ledger paper, so that's as if you've got a payment there. This is another piece of French ephemera, and I just printed old paper on the back. I've got that stamp there showing, so it brings out the sort of pinks. This is another one of those just folded over to make a journaling card. I felt you could write on that, or if not, you can stick some paper on that to write on. Thought the colours went quite well. It's slightly out of focus, the picture. Didn't think that mattered at all. And so here we are at the last page, and so the back mirrors the front. So that is my non-vintage version as well. So it was a lot quicker to do one with no ink in, I have to say. I've always wanted to do a project, a journal with no inking, and just to see what it would be like. There was loads of times when I went to reach for my daubers to add some ink, but I resisted. So yeah, so that is using the same, fundamentally the same paper throughout. I've changed the size, so it's not a direct carbon copy, because that'd probably be a bit boring. Like to do a bit of change. But yeah, so let me know which you like best, or they're just too different and you can't compare. I don't know, but yeah, I was quite pleased with how that turned out. Forgot to count the pages. Let me just do that. Yeah, I've just done a quick count. 70 pages, front and back in there. I think there's 74, 76 in this one. So yeah, I will have some close-up pictures over on my blog, nudges.co.uk, of this for you to go and have a little look-see. And I will, if I remember, link to the flick through of this, which will also have a link then to my blog, so you can have some close-ups of this if you've missed it. Okay. I'll link down below to the products that I've used in making it, that are available in my shop. And yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be along very soon with some more projects for you. Bye for now.